up guys, my name is Cody. This is my first vlog and I am here in Connecticut and I am on my way to New York to see the Gamer's Choice 3v3. I don't know if I'm going to be playing in that yet, but I know for a fact that I'm going to be playing in the Goofy Gauntlet 2 that's going on tomorrow. So come with me because this is my first time ever going to New York and I'm so excited.
Okay, hey, what's up guys? I'm here at Gamer's Choice in New York and the round hasn't started yet. I'm just waiting to find teammates right now. I haven't decided what I'm gonna play. It's either between 3 Access or the Fluanderies deck, but I'll let you guys know what I'm playing when it starts. Oh, this guy. What's up, bro? Sheesh. What's up, bro? It is. So this man, what's your name? Henry, nice to meet you, bro. He wants me to sign his Sangan. Let's go. All right, appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. Hey guys, so currently I'm playing in round 6. At the moment I am 5-0. I'm sorry I couldn't get actual live footage for this event. I was mainly playing, but yeah, so in the very moment you can see that he has DDG and I just passed my turn because the first turn I just got shifted and I had to play around the Zeus, and then he DDG'd again and then Zeus'd again with Token Collector. So you see here, he normal summons Whiptail, and at the moment, I'm thinking to myself that if he does anything like Chakanine or if he commits to a play, I have Cypher and Gamma in my hand since turn 1, and I can just really commit and punish him for doing this. So here he's just looking at his extra deck, and you can see that in this match, it was kind of an uphill battle for me. I went through double Enchantress. I do have a Fairy Tale Snow in graveyard, but at the moment, I don't have enough resources. And right here, you can see I Cypher and Gamma to punish. If he just made double Zeus, we discussed this after the match, I'm pretty sure he would have just won the game. So right now, in my head, I'm thinking that this Gamma was the only saving grace I had. And this was game 3. I was down 3,000 life points from a direct attack and 1,600 from Thoroughblade. So during the end phase, I activate Fairy Tale Snow before the Gamma could get banished because I would have enough materials. I was thinking of the turn ahead, and I think this, for me, was a very pivotal moment in the match because, as you can see, he just detaches the last 2 materials from Zeus, and that pretty much leaves him at a 0 material Zeus. So I drew for turn, and right now my hand was Nibiru. I drew that for turn. I thought that was probably the worst card I could have possibly drawn, but let's make the most out of it. So I was just thinking for a while, thinking of my plays, because at the moment I didn't know what he had in hand, and going against 2 cards in hand. So I just normal summon Madame Spider, special summon Track, Wielder, and right here I was kind of thinking for a while about what I should do or what I should commit to. The commentators was just saying like DP and just pop the Zeus, but as you can see, we have 10 minutes on the round, and I really wanted to just solidify my game state because if I just make Predaplant, then I kind of lose to a single effect Veiler, which I just didn't want to play into. But at the moment, I kind of didn't really have a choice. He's been passing his turn just with the Zeus up, so I figured that what he has in hand has to be either reactive cards or cards that don't really impact the game as much. So my two decisions were Cherubini and Hauk. I was thinking for a while. It actually might have almost killed me in the end, just thinking about what I should go into. But I felt that taking my time and thinking about my plays was worth the risk of me going into time and losing. So as you can see here, I just made Hauk. And then the reason why I made Hauk here was because I was counting the materials I had for Fairy Tale Snow for the token collector. If I just made the Predaplant, I wouldn't have enough to make an interrupt as in Snow. So I had to do this line first. And then because I think my hand was right, Draco back, Nib, and either a blank or that was the last card in hand. So I was just thinking of the best way I can out this token collector and trying to play best around the two hand traps. But in my mind, Hauk already went off. If it didn't go off, then he would have just effect veilered there. But this is where I kind of knew he didn't have that, so I ruled that out. And the only hand traps I was afraid of at this moment were either Nibiru or Ghost Ogre. So here I was just looking at the graveyard, counting my materials. Took me a little while just to think about my gameplay. And then I decided to activate right, force out the token collector. And I thought this was like super important part of the match. Because then he activates token collector, and then on summon, he activates the effect. I chain Fairy Tale Snow. So I attempted to banish my token, and then he was just wondering if that was actually allowed, like you're allowed to banish tokens, because yes, you are allowed to banish tokens for cost as an effect, as long as you just don't banish them face down, because you are able to like Farfa banish a token. So right here, I had to do the Hauk line just because I would get rid of every single card I had to make sure I had enough for Fairy Tale Snow in order to keep Hauk and Fairy Tale Snow on the board. So right here, I was thinking between Shooting Riser and Yazi, but at this moment, I would make Yazi and then Red Rose effect. So what I was thinking right here of making the Shooting Riser was because I can just get hard punished by Ghost Ogre, because that was the only other card that he could possibly have that actually affects this Yazi. So throughout the game, I noticed that he was playing a lot of banish cards, and he probably wouldn't have had Ghost Ogre in his main deck or in his game 3 matchup. So I just decided to use Yazi effect, and if he had Ash, he had Ash. He probably would have used it on the Crystron. So here Yazi's going to special summon Mirror. I got a little nervous throwing cards. I was just thinking about my plays hard here, because I was thinking now the only hand trap that I can actually possibly lose to at the moment is Nibiru. So right here I just made the Dagda with the token only because I had Basil, and I heard the commentators say that I could get punished if he had Nib at this moment when I summoned the tokens. Oh yeah, I had to see if I actually had the Scythe in deck, because the time has been passed and I completely forgot if this was game 3 or not, and if I just sided it out. But luckily I did keep it in game 3 knowing I was going first. So right here, the commentators said that I could have possibly got hard punished by Nibiru, but that's not the case, because if I do get Nibiru here, I still make DPE Scythe, which I really wanted to do. Like, I wanted to set up that exact play, just because I knew I couldn't go for game. This is what I was thinking here. Like, I was counting my materials, counting my hand, looking at life points, trying to see any possible way to see if I could kill him this turn, because I didn't want there to be a discrepancy during time where if he has live cards in his hand, he could actually like play into the time and I lose because I already took a substantial amount of damage. So I just go for the safe play. I make the Herald here. I use Yazi. I use the Mirror effect once again, special summon the token. And right here, I was kind of thinking I had 2 lines of play. I was thinking about Savage because the Mariner is now level 4, the Herald is not savage, but then I do get hard punished by Nib, so I decided to just keep the Herald on board. And this is where I was thinking like a little bit longer, trying to decipher his hand a little bit, like what can I possibly lose to in this position. So you can see I'm just thinking, I'm actually going through my routes. I'm thinking about like if I should actually just access code him right here, because it is possible I can unicorn discard, make unicorn, and then use the unicorn plus mirror to make access code, but he is at full life points, so I decided not to do that and just go for the safe route and just go Predapline TP with the Herald. So yeah, you can see time's dwindling down, 3 minutes 54 seconds, so I was kind of playing a little bit faster here. I just wanted to make sure I had another turn, because at this position I felt very safe that I was winning the game. He had a token collector set, 2 cards in hand, and I have Herald, Sight DPE plus Fairy Tale Snow. So there weren't many outs that he could possibly have in this simplified game state. So yeah, here you see me battle phase, pop that, and it's just attack. I decided to pop the Anaconda, not the Mariner, because the Mariner would come up next turn where it can keep summoning tokens and it can be another beater because it is 2100 attack. He draws for turn. I see he draws the Imperm, and in this game state it's not really going to do much. I have just the Basil Rose Shoot, which I kept in hand just in case, and end phase DPE will trigger. So here's the finals between me and Matt, a really good player. He's on Cyberus Eldritch. So as you can see, this is game 3. He normal summons Dotscaper, tries to go into the Link Devotee Disciple shenanigans, and he special summons back Dotscaper. I'm just reading every card to make sure that I don't miss an interaction that I probably would have won if I read. So he's going to activate the Devotee. I Ogre here, which is a very pivotal point in the combo to Ogre. And as you can see, he hard drew the Defusion. He drew it on me game 1 and game 3 when I had Nib game 1, and then game 3 he just hard drew it again. So very unfortunate for me in a 60 card deck. I thought this was very unfortunate because there weren't many cards I actually lost to in this matchup. And he just sets 1, passes with 2 cards in hand. I draw for turn. And right here I'm looking at my hand and I'm thinking it's absolute gas. All I have to play around is probably DPE, hand traps, and I'm guessing that the set card is just an Eldritch trap. So the finals was not timed, so here you can see me just thinking hard about my plays and then thinking about what I want to do first, reading everything just to make sure that there's no hidden effects. But right there I was actually looking at the attack to decide what position I wanted to put my junk forward in. So I had junk forward E-Telly, but I'm pretty sure during my siding patterns I usually side out the small punk engine, so I'm guessing that I just special summon Wielder, which I do, because I really do want to incorporate more hand traps, so the punk cards are very easy side outs game 3. And then here I'm just thinking what that back would possibly be, because he said that's fine on the DPE. I'm just debating on what I want to do because I have 2 lines of play. I can either go for the Crystron, which gets like interrupted by either DPE or a hand trap since he has 2 cards in hand, or I can make Cherubini, where I can just like send a card. So as you can see here, I just make the Cherubini, go for the safe play, and I ask him anything on resolution. He says it's fine, so I use Cherubini, sending his cost. I'm pretty sure I send Enchantress here to actually get my right engine starting. I think during this moment I was debating between Enchantress or Edge Imp Sabers, just because I felt like I can play through the DPE, but the hand trap, if he had Ash here, then it would have been big. Like I thought that I might have got punished just by the Ash, but luckily he didn't have it, so I add back right. I activate right. He chains Tikaboo in my mind, I'm wondering why did he side Tikubu against my deck since it doesn't really hurt, but it is gonna affect me in this one scenario since the two monsters are fairies. So here I have a little judge ruling asking if I am still able to set the adventure if I do not special summon the token. So we're having a quick clarification by the head judge just to make sure, and he said that it is fine. It's not an end if you do, it is a part of one effect. So here he's just reading it again, and then you can see me later on placing the Fateful Adventure onto my field. So now that I look at his field, he just has a DPE, a Tikaboo, and 2 random cards in hand. So in this very moment, I feel very comfortable as to playing. I feel like I'm in a very dominant spot, and there aren't many cards in this scenario that could actually like kill me or beat me the following turn. So here I am just thinking about my sequencing. I'm debating whether or not to use the Fateful Adventure first or to normal summon. So you can see me normal summon Sangan and the zone Cherubini points to. So his DPE doesn't hit the Sangan, which is really important, but he is going to allow me to search the Draco back off the adventure. So here in my mind, I'm wondering like, what does he have or what is he waiting the DPE for? Because there aren't many cards that I lose. Like he could possibly DPE, but on resolution he just activates DPE. I let it go. I said it's fine, and here you can see me joke around saying targets or pop the Sangan because it's not going to be popped. But here he's just thinking about his target since there are multiple, and he decides to use the Cherubini. But here you can see me look through my extra deck, thinking about what I could do with my hand and where I'm going to go with this play. Just thinking if I want to save the Cherubini. Not a lot of people know that effect, that it can send another card I control instead to be destroyed. Because Cherubini is really impactful in 2 ways. It's a protection body, and it is a link too. So here you can just see me send the Fateful Adventure because it has served its purpose at this point. I already used my normal, and I can't summon Draco back. So I just link 2, make the dark, trigger Sangan. So right now I felt that as if I was going to win the game off this 1 dark, just because, like what could he have? Like he probably can't have anything. So I feel like in a very commanding position. And then see me think a little bit, looking at his graveyard soon. This is the final, so I was really like thinking hard about my decision tree, and I wanted to make sure I didn't misplay in any way. So I was looking at actually the level 4 because I was thinking of a way to make Yazi pop and just killing him, but I noticed that Arboreal was a warrior, so I was looking for like level 4 non-warriors, and I wanted to read DPE just to make sure that it can use its effect multiple times. So I just dark target DPE, and then he chains the nib. I thought this was huge. Like this was very good for me. In this position, I felt like I didn't really lose because he used his nib. I don't know the last card in hand, but I could tell that it wasn't another hand trap just because he used his nib first. So now I had to just ask if dark is triggered because I actually didn't know. My dark is foreign. I like playing with English cards, but I only had the foreign dark at the moment. But I thought nib was fine just because I can make Link Spider, and then the reason why I searched Arboreal was for this exact moment in case I get nibbed. So I just make my own Predaplant here. I'm making sure that I don't want to make any like Predaplant or Krishron. I was thinking about Krishron, but I didn't have another extender, so I just Predaplant effect, pay 2k, special summon DPE. And from right here, as you can tell, he has 1 card in hand. He has a Tikaboo. Those are very conflicting in the Cyber strategy, just because that he can't make any link 1s with his normal summon Cyberses. So I thought, this card doesn't really affect me, it's hurting him a lot more. And it pretty much traded 1-for-1 with the right, which was big, but I still played through Nib, DPE, Tikaboo, and ended off with my own DPE with, at the moment, I think 3 cards in hand. So you can just see me thinking. I was wondering if I wanted to pop my own Predaplant, but I thought about the following turn, what he's going to do and what I'm going to do. So I decided to just set 1 card and then DPE effect, popping the set card. I wanted to have the extra body just because if I have no cards on field, then DPE wouldn't trigger on my part, and I wanted to ensure that I had that layer of protection. So I have 2 cards in hand, a Predaplant and a DPE with a loaded graveyard. Like, in my mind, I pretty much won this game. He has 1 card in hand, a returning DPE. He draws his card. He's thinking about special summoning it, but as you can tell, he actually just drew the card that he's about to set, so DPE comes back. No reason for me to DPE here. He's locked under his own Tikaboo, so I didn't want to give him free advantage in that way. And DPE wasn't a threat at the moment. So I looked at his graveyard. I could tell that his only play was mainly Celestial. So here he sets 1 card face down. Again, I'm thinking there's not many trap cards this deck can set, so it's either a Draco back, Eldritch Trap, or Curse Outland, which would probably be the worst one. And he normal summons the Firewall. So here I'm thinking about just like doing DPE, but I let him draw first, and then I chain the Drone Lockbird. So right here in this position, I figured there were only 2 cards in the deck that actually could win him the game, and it wasn't very likely in a 60 card deck for him to draw those specific 2 cards. You can see later on what 2 cards they could be, because he did end up drawing the exact 2 cards he needed to kill me for game. Otherwise, I felt like I was probably going to win that match. He's just thinking about his plays first. I believe after the match he told me one of the cards he drew was Cross Out, but I didn't have another hand trap, so that wasn't like a big thing. And then both of us would have recurring DPEs, and eventually the DP would trade off, and then I would be able to establish a board and kill him for game. But here you can see he flips the L land. That's one of the 2 cards I was thinking in my head that I lose to. Now I was just wondering if he has the second. So here I decide, should I DPE or should I wait? I know he can't search because I drilled him. So I'm just letting everything go through. Here he uses his DPE, and that forces me to chain mine. So I wouldn't be losing to a random like card that just negates. I'm not too sure what I would lose to, but I wanted to clear his board as much as possible because I knew that if he popped my DP and my DP wouldn't get value, then it was a waste. So I decided to pop the Predaplant and DP. He pops Curse Outland and my own DP, and then he uses Curse Outland effect. Right here, I was thinking if he didn't draw the 1 card he needed to top deck, he was just going to be sending like Huaquero or a Conquistador. But when he sends the Golden Lord, that kind of told me that he drew the last card needed in order to win. And he used the Golden Lord, special summon it. And the last card was Magician's Souls. I was dreading this because if it was Illusion of Chaos, if it was anything else, I would still be in the game. But no, he just special summoned the Illusion, made his own dark, and I extend the handshake knowing. Hey guys, so I'm back from my trip from Connecticut and New York, and all I have to say was that tournament was a blast. Everything about it was great. The tournament director, Jojo, shout out to Goofy Gaming. They hosted an amazing tournament. Day 1 at the Gamer's Choice, I ended up being on a team with Hani and Pack. Shout out to them. We just came up a little bit short. We ended off in 9th place with the next 2 record. A little unfortunate there, but the next day it was 8 rounds of Swiss and then cut to top 16. We all ended up topping, and my finishing record, I ended up getting 2nd place of the whole tournament. During the finals, it was a little bit unfortunate of my luck. I ended up winning only 3 dice rolls of the entire tournament, so that was something. But it also assured me that my deck was well equipped to go 2nd and 1st. Because during the times that I did go 1st, I pretty much made sure I won, except one time in the finals where I just completely drew dead to 1 hand trap. So yeah, that was the only unfortunate thing, but other than that, I had a great time and I just thought that my deck ran smoothly. Also, I ended up playing my 3-axis deck with 21 hand traps in the main deck. A little spice. If you want to see the deck profile, let me know. I'll have an in-depth deck profile coming out. But yeah, I thought the deck and the tournament overall was really good. I'm really happy with my 2nd place finish, and yeah, pretty much that's it. I'll see you guys next time.